Hello, this is your online Pilates class, which is going to be 45 minutes long and includes the warm-up and the cool down. So hopefully you are somewhere equally lovely outside if you can, or inside if you can't. Just clear enough space to have your mat. Make sure that you won't be disturbed so that you can really enjoy it and make the most of your exercise time. I'll show you the modifications along the way, and so let's begin. For the moment, standing with your feet hip width apart. Just take a few deep breaths in and feel yourself being connected to the ground, lengthening up through the crown of the head, eyes closed or gaze soft, whichever is best for you. And really feel the breath come through to the back of the ribs, expanding the lungs sideways. And then let's take 4. Inhale, reaching the arms up, and exhaling, reaching the arms around. So choosing this moment to set your intention for the class, allowing yourself to work within your own range of movement and a little bit extra. And last one here. Keeping the arms wide, taking the feet a little bit further apart to give you the stability. Allow yourself to turn. So whether the knee bends, whether the heel lifts, allow that full rotation. Appreciate the movement. And maybe you notice that there's a little bit more movement to be had, or you'd like to have a little bit more movement. So this time, as we place the feet back down, we're going to take the hands behind the head or to the hips, scoop in the lower abdominals and lift the elbow up towards the ceiling, or the sense that the ear is lifting up to listen to the clouds. Working within your pain-free range of movement, one more each side. Feel the length down the body, and last one this time. Coming back here now to the hands, crossing over the shoulders. Again, keep the lower abdominals engaged and turn the upper body only. Inhale up and exhale round. If you feel like you haven't got much movement, I feel this side for me is a little bit tight, I want you to think of something nice, someone you like, or somewhere pleasant. Soften your movement and see if that makes a difference. Come back through to the center. Take one arm up and one arm under. This is our windmill arm, and let it flow. Inhale up and exhale over. If you want to let the hip go as well, let the hip go as well. Trying to get freedom of movement. One more each side. Just notice what you notice about that movement. And then come back, roll the shoulders. We've got the noise of the countryside going on here, so let's go with it. Inhale, open the chest, and exhale, bend the knees and round the back. I turn sideways, so I'm going to do about 6. Inhale, open the shoulder blades, go down, exhale, round. 4 more. Inhale, open, and lengthen through the front. And as we exhale, we lengthen through the back. I think there's 3 more. Inhale, open, exhale, round, 2 more, inhale, open, and if you want to pause here, otherwise let's do 1 more, and then we hold anyway for a little bit of a stretch, so you're pressing the hands against each other, dropping the shoulders, and almost pulling back, so I'm not completely upright, I'm scooping in, going back into the heels. Travelling the chin, one side through to the other. Come back through to center. And bring yourself upright. Let's take the feet slightly wider and lunge from side to side. Notice what that's like as you sit the bottom out. Mild stretch on the inside, you're checking in with your hips. 4 more like that. 3 more. 2. Last one. Come through to the center, bottom back. Weight even on each foot. Hands to the thighs. Scoop in the tummy around yourself up. Drop the head and then elongate. Really lengthening out through the front of the body. The shoulders are still down. And then direction. So if there's tightness there and you want to pause, pause. Otherwise, 2 more sets, rounding up and elongating. Feel yourself growing in length through the spine each time. And then lengthening. Next time, bring yourself all the way up. Roll the shoulders. Bring the feet in. Let's go the swing. So bending at the knees and the hips, letting the arms swing, maybe getting a bit deeper and a little bit more energetic. 4 more. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1.5. There's your half. Rolling down from here. Bring the arms down, tucking in the chin. Let me turn sideways on. Tuck in and you can see. So you're exploring what's going on through your spine by scooping everything at the front towards the spine. Bend your knees if you need to. Travel down. Fingers get to wherever they get to. Pause. Give the head a little shake. Breathe in. And bring yourself up. So the modification for this one is to be supported on the thighs, otherwise let's do 1 more. I like the extension. If you don't, or if it doesn't work for you, don't do that bit. So tuck in. Can you feel each vertebrae as you're rolling down? I like to do this quite slowly and deliberately. If you're there quicker, then just pause. And this time, if you can hold on or to your lower legs, bend and straighten. That doesn't mean it's completely straight. It means straighten more than you started at being bent. So your movement might be here. I'm going to do about another 4. Little movement. 3. 2. Last one. And then come up. Big circle. Ready to begin. So we're going to steal from a bit of yoga. So we'll come back to that wide-legged position. I'm going to get you to turn to your right. You'll be mirroring me, turning your right foot, turning the left foot in until you are on the ball of your left foot. So here we are. Deep breath in. As we lift the arms up, we drop the knee and then straighten that leg. 6 in total. Keep the arms up. Straighten both legs and lean forward. Now I'm going to shuffle back so you can see me. We're going to come into aeroplane. So that means you tap the back foot in until you're ready to lift it off the floor. And you lift. You might lower, or you might be up here. Pause. Take the arms wide. Breathe. And then lift the arms, drop down. Let's go up again into airplane. Keep that front knee bent. Arms wide. And again. 4 in total. Dropping down. Lifting up. Experimenting. Where is up for you? Last one, we're going to hold for 2 full breaths in your best aeroplane position, lengthening, scooping in the tummy, wobbling like me maybe, and dropping down to the floor in a low lunge position. You can't see my back heel, but the heel is, the toes are tucked in. And I'm going to drop that back knee, you can see that. Straighten the front leg a little bit more and bend that front knee. You're straightening the right leg and then bend. About 6 in total. Dynamic stretch of the hip flexor and the hamstring. 2 more, it might be more than 6. You may have finger pads here. And then pause this time. Taking your left hand down, your right hand reaches up. You can straighten that left leg. And then comes down. 4 in total. Inhale, reach up. And you might have your weight on the thigh, the weight of your torso. And last one. Pause. Reach the fingers. And then down. If you can, lift your hips up. You might need to shimmy the hand onto the inside of the foot. Take your right foot back. Can I walk in? Lift up the hips into pyramid. Pause and breathe. 2 breaths. Your legs are a little bit bent. And then walk the hands to the feet or the feet to the hands and scoop yourself up. And circle the arms round. And then we turn the opposite direction. So this time, your left foot forward and your right foot is back. We're in this lunge position. We lift the arms and drop that right knee. Straighten the legs, press the arms back. 6 in total. Oh, did we do 4? Let's go for 5, just in case. Slow and deliberately. This time we're going to keep the arms up. And as we lift up, we're going to go for the aeroplane. So I'm going to shimmy back just a little bit. So the weight is on the left foot. At the front, we're going to lift the right, test out the balance, taking the arms wide. 4 of these. Inhale, lift the arms, drop the right knee and lift. The left knee might be bent. We hold it on the 4th one. It might be here. Whatever's best for you, whatever you can do. Maybe you can do more this time. Pause for 2 breaths and better this side. I'm going to go lower if you can. Reach through the fingers. And then back down, all the way back down. Hands either side of that left foot. Straighten that back leg. I know you can't see mine. It's out of picture. From here, dropping the right knee down. Straighten the left leg. And the toes might lift a little bit, that's fine. Straighten and bend, dynamic stretching. Straighten and bend. So about 2 more. If there's a point at which you want to pause, you can always pause. And then lifting that right knee, taking the right hand down, lifting the left hand. Pushing into the ground, lifting up, lowering down. 4 in total and hold on the 4th one. Into the 4th one and hold. And then hands onto the inside of the left foot. Take the left foot back. You're going to lift up the hips once again into pyramid, pushing the hands away from you, bending the knees if you need to, lengthening through the back. Pause and this time walk through the feet, bending and straightening. Can you see Bending and straightening through the feet. And then dropping the knees down and coming into rest position. If you can have your toes tucked, do. You might be really small here. Holding onto the feet or letting your arms rest. Stay for a 4-breath break. And for the final 2, rest down completely. And then we lift up. So we're here in kneeling to do a little bit of kneeling work. So if we take the toes under, and that gives you a high kneeling position. Deep breath in and exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. Keep the arms lifted. Exhale, lift. Squeeze the buttocks and inhale, lower. Let's do 6 of those. This is the 6th one. Maybe you're counting. Flatten the feet and lift yourself up one more. So now we're going to straighten the body, engage the abdominals and hinge back. Trying to keep that straight line, so you try not to let the bottom stick out. I don't know if you can see that. That's the bottom sticking out. Try to keep that straight line. You might get a tightness through the front of the thigh. If you need to tuck your toes, do tuck your toes here. Gives you a little bit more range of movement. 6 in total. Shoulders down. Let's do the arms. The last 2. And let's do one for lock and hold if you want to take the arms up. That makes it harder, otherwise you're here. Squeezing the buttocks. Feeling strong and straight. Let's sit down to one side. Up and over to the other side. So the hips are going side to side if I turn front ways on. So we're going to do 6 like this. So here's 2 more. Not quite sitting down. Arms up and over. Makes it harder, 6 in total. One side might be easier. Woo, quite hard, 4. Last 2, 2, and 1. And rest back down. Come into your rest position, arms reaching forward, sitting back towards the heels. Or if that's not right for you, you can be seated, legs bent. Bring yourself up. We're coming onto all 4s. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to angle so you can get a better look at the arms and legs. So we're going to do Superman repeater, so the long spine, abdominals scooped in. Go with your right arm and your left leg. Reach and bring the elbow to the knee. Reach long, elbow to knee. Here's 3 of 6. Really reach here, hold on the last one, which is the next one coming up. Hold. Push away with the left hand and the right knee, and then release. Let's change sides. So plant the right hand first, left arm reaches, right leg. Bring it. You can round up slightly there, then lift. Keep scooping in on the tummy. 3 more. Last one, and let's hold. Push away with the right hand and the left knee. And then change. This time, we're going to breaststroke. Just a little twig there. So organize yourself nice and long. And now we go with the right hand. You've got to actually bend the left knee in to swim. So hopefully you know breaststroke, and hopefully you've got as much clearance as you need to with that left knee. There's 4 of 6. Push away with the left hand. Keep the neck long. And then back down. Really feel as if you're trying to get somewhere. So organising the right hand, lengthening the left arm, and we circle around, really getting some opening out in that hip. Feel as if you're pulling yourself forward. Keep that 5. And here's. We switch one more time. We extend the left leg. We lift up the right arm, and then we thread the needle, bending the left arm, reaching under, and the and the right arm tucking in the thread the needle, and the left foot reaching away. Starting to really work through the shoulder and the core. This time we're keeping the arm off the floor to make it a little bit more unstable. And then back down. It's too wobbly. Do drop the toes to the floor. Otherwise we lift, taking the left arm up, little reach, and then there's the tuck. Bending the right arm, and then up. Exhale, bending, reaching under. One side is harder for me. Is it for you? If you extend that foot away from you, that really helps engage the core. 5. Last one. And 6. I think we've deserved a little break, and this time I'm going to get you to sit. So however is comfortable for you, or here, can you have your hands to the floor, reach forward, sitting bones down, let the head rest, and stay for a 2-breath break. Walk the hands back in. Restack the spine and stay here, however you are, wherever is here. 2 breaths, growing tall. And then bringing the feet together. If this is too much, you go back here and straighten the legs. Even if your feet are only as wide as the mat, they might be wider. Whichever position allows you to sit upright, you can take the hands behind you and lift your chest forward. So from the side, maybe that's helpful to see the side. I'm going to push myself up. So instead of being back here, I want to be straight up. Go to wherever you feel the tightness in the inner thigh and do little butterfly moves. So wherever your legs are, you've got a little bit of stretch, not so that you scrunch up your face. So you're relaxing here, breathing deeply. My neighbour in his motorbike is coming home. And then we hold. So with the Goldilocks stretch just enough so that you can feel it. If you're not feeling it, then hold on to the ankles and lift yourself up. That's really going to kick in just enough. That feels kind of pleasant, but a little bit of a stretch. At least 2 or 3 breaths longer if you need it. And then from here, bringing the knees up, extending your right leg, toes point up. So you can either keep the left foot flat or cross it over. You're going to snuggle the left arm, the left knee with the right arm, the left hand comes behind, and this is our seated twist. So upright as much as possible, keeping the feet down, pushing with your left hand, and then sitting upright. You probably get a bit of a stretch here, pausing for 2 or 3 breaths. Keep the toes of the right foot pointed up, and relax the head, close the eyes if you need, and then release. So now you've got the left leg straight, the right foot here, or across, snuggle with the left arm. So your right hand is behind, you're pushing up and helping yourself around. So the left foot is engaged with the toe up, that gives the stretch at the back of the thigh. 2 to 3 breaths. Relax the head and the face. And then slowly out. Let's come to a seated position now. So sitting in the bottom half of your mat, let me check my notes. So we sit nice and tall and we go with a seated half curl. The idea being is you round out, particularly this lower part of the back, so scoop in the tummy, hold on if you need to, and just have a little shimmy with the shoulders, check in with that. Where do you feel that? Do you feel your tummy pushing up, or is it just scooped in a little bit? Go to wherever that is and bring yourself up. And exhale if you want to let go. If you can let go, then let go. Go to where you can feel it. It's not hurting the back. You may need a little cushion underneath. And then bring the arms up, up, up. 2 more like that. Actually, no, 3 more. I want to do 6. Exhale on the way back down. Inhale, let the fingers lift you up. And exhale, curl. Should be starting to feel it. And inhale up. And now scoot the arms around. We're going for another 4. Inhale up. Scoot the arms around. 2 more. Should be shaking a little bit. Inhale up. And last one. Inhale up. And then down. So allow yourself to sit, placing the hands behind you, lengthening out through the front a little bit. So the chest feels as if it's lifted and maybe an arch in the lumbar spine. If you bring your feet in, the arms are behind you, fingers pointing away. Let's try knee rolling here. What's it like to be in this position? If that bothers you, shoulders, neck, or wrists, then you can come down onto the forearms, or you can lie completely flat. So choose the option. So trying to keep the chest lifted, we knee roll. We come onto the tips of the toes, making it harder. Bend the elbows a little. And then we're going to go with the can-can. Now we're in the swing of things. And let's do 3 each side. So that's 3 turns. There's 2 of 3. This time we pause and extend the top leg. And then bend. Let's do 3 more turns. And extend the top leg. Have a breather when you need to. Watch out. Just notice I'm letting my elbows come up. My elbows, my shoulders. We're going to pause and extend the top leg. There's 3 of 6. Walking down the mat. This is 4 of 6. We can make it harder for the last 2 by extending both legs. We pause this time. 1 or both? Which one are you doing? Oh, that's a little harder. And last set of 3, 2. Pause this time. 1 or both. With a ta-da. Knees bend, feet down, and lie down on your back. You can do a full body stretch. I think you've earned it. Let me make sure you can see me. Full body stretch. And bringing your arms down by your sides, feet hip width. Let's go with some shoulder bridges. So we start to articulate the spine. We lift the tailbone up. We peel up. through the back. Weight is even on each foot, and then we sink slowly down, trying to keep relaxed and long through the neck. Do 2 more like that one. Shoulder bridging up and slowly down. Should feel pleasant, might be a bit of release for the back. Starting to work the buttocks a little bit, sink down. Now we start to work a little bit. We lift the hips up. We drop the left buttock towards the floor, keeping the right leg still. Lift the left hip up and switch. So one side stays still while the other side drops. You can let the knee move. Let's do 6 in total. So 1 more each side. Relaxed in the upper body. And then bring yourself down. Let's do something a little bit more intense by lifting up and circling. So we do the scoop, hip down, lift up across the top, 3 in each direction. Big scoop up, across the top, scooping. Across the top, and then back reverse, scoop. So it feels like a circle, scooping, trying to keep the knees fairly still. And then last one, working into the core, working into the back, and bring yourself all the way down. 1 more change as we lift ourselves up. I'm going to keep the hips lifted and lift and lower the heels. Keep the hips where they are. Lift and lower. Let's do 6. So feeling it in the hamstrings, feeling it in the buttocks. And holding it on the 6th one. Bring the arms up, bring the arms over the head. Now glue the backs of the hands to the floor, place the heels down and sink down. Keep the hands reaching away from you. Sink, 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 sink. Over the buttocks. And release. 1 more, just that stretching part so you articulate up. You bring the arms overhead. You plant the hands on the floor. Keep them where they are. Keep the hips lifted while you're reaching. And now really drop down. You should get a bit of a stretch at the very base of your ribs. And then bring your knees in. Have a rock from side to side. Hopefully you felt that in the hamstrings, the back of the thigh, or the buttocks, or both. Let your head rest. Place 1 hand on each knee and circle as if you're doing breaststroke. Let the hips move. And go the opposite direction. Bring 1 knee in, hold on just below the knee or the back of the thigh and stretch the other leg away. Press the heel down. So you're pushing the straight leg into the ground. Get a bit of a stretch in the front of the hip. Pause and breathe. Allow that knee to drop out if you can. You can hug it from underneath. Stretching the inner thigh and the front of the hip. Bring the knee back in, foot down. Bend the right leg, so straighten out the left. Hold on to the back of the right knee or just below the knee or the back of the thigh. Bring the knee in, so you're really straightening that left leg, pushing the leg down, toes pointed up. As you activate the back of this left leg, you'll stretch into the front of the hip. Now take the right knee out to the side. You can hold onto the foot too or underneath the right leg. Breathe. And then allow yourself to tilt nice and easily. So it's a tiny, it's what we call sacroiliac rocking, just tiny movement here, rocking backwards and forwards. I'm going to get you to have your head down. I'm just lifting so that I'm making sure you can see what I'm doing. And then take this on a diagonal. So imagine you're pressing your left foot into the ground. The left hip lifts slightly. The weight goes to the right hip. Rock back. Everything is now stable. Press the weight into the right foot and you drop back to this left hip. I've got a gap now. And then rock back. So this is the movement. It feels like walking or Nordic skiing, apparently. I've not done that, so I don't know. If you need something under your head at this point, allow that to happen. And then settle. Check the back of your neck is long, that your shoulder blades are down. Deep breath in, engage, embrace the core, the ribs are down, lift one leg. Toe tap. So the hinge happens at the hip, not at the knee. We don't just flap the lower part of the leg down. The hinge happens here. I'm going to shuffle up so you can see what's happening to my leg a little bit more. And then we switch. I've done more than 6. Seeing what one hip is like. Can you stabilize equally? And if you want your breathing pattern, I like to exhale on the way back down, but you might like to do it differently. Let your body decide, but keep breathing regularly. Switch sides. So now the left up again. Can you straighten it? 3/4 or straight? If it's fully straight, flex that foot. Keep stable. Exhale lower. Not all the way, but nearly. Inhale up. Exhale lower. Inhale up. 3 more. 2. And 1. You should feel the core as you lower the leg. Switch sides, make the leg longer or completely long. Engage, exhale lower. Or your inhale if that's what you prefer. There's 2 of 6. 3. Notice where you feel this, probably on the diagonal. Keep the ribs down. 5 and 6. Let's try both legs together. So from tabletop, brace. Make sure you're not arching. Make your legs as straight as you need to, 3/4 or completely. I'm going with 3/4, flexing at the foot. 1 down and then switch. So if you feel your arch, don't go quite so low. Keep the arms down. Make it small if you need to. You can even walk on the ceiling. Lovely move. Walking on the clouds. So let's do 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, 1 more, and bring the knees in. You might feel that in the thighs and in the abdomen and maybe into the back of the thighs. Bring the knees in. Have a rock. So 1 more. We're going to come up to tabletop. I'm going to shuffle down a little bit and bring the arms up this time. So can we do that toe tap with the opposite arm? So it's reverse Superman. Test your brain as much as anything. Make the leg a bit longer if you can. So from a bent leg, you go to straight and back in. Your angle might be 45 degrees, or it might be almost vertical. Play around with that, be curious, but keeping the ribs down. So go to wherever you need to go to, rest when you need to. I'm going to do 4 more. You might have stopped already. I'm just going to do a little test. Can I feel that in my core? Is my back arching? And here's my last one. And then hands on the knees, circling around. Breathing a little deeper. And then going the opposite way, softening now, just check your jaw is soft. And spending just a moment resting here, relaxing the front of the hip, really actively relaxing the hip flexors. Can you let them go? Maybe bring the knees together and the feet out, inviting those hip flexors now to switch off. You don't need to work here. The palms up. We're going to stay for a 6 breath break. So breathing a little deeper, notice the breath in the back of the rib cage. If you've got a nice cloud formation or a nice sky to look at, do, otherwise close the eyes. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the jaw, softening the pelvis. Two more breaths in this position. Just give yourself a break. And then rolling over onto your side. Take a moment before you come up. In fact, now is a great place just to take the hands, interlink them behind your head. The knees are tucked up. You bring the top elbow to the floor and then open it out. If your knees slide, and that's fine, let that happen. If you want the more advanced version, keep the knees glued together. Don't allow them to move. And pause on the next one. Allow some length in the body. And then you can roll over onto your other side. I'm going to flip. I'm going to go with my head downhill. So lying on your side, interlocking the fingers, or you can use a long arm. Most of you know how I roll. So see what that works like. Maybe you're tighter one side. Maybe you need a bit longer. Choosing either to let the knees slide or keep the knees together. And pause this time. Just a brief pause. Notice what it feels like. Bring yourself back. Push yourself up slowly into a seated position. You're going to be in the mermaid position, and if you've got your right knee forward, then you're going to have your right hand down by the side. Remember, the right shoulder stays down. You're going to lift up the left arm, do 3, and then pause on the 3rd one. You can rainbow that arm over your head and then back down. Inhale up and exhale over. And pausing this time. So this time you're stretching out the front of the left hip. Keep the fingers reaching up. So you're pressing down through all the points that are on the floor and reaching through the fingers. 3 or 4 breaths is good enough to have a nice stretch through the front of that hip. And as you drop down, you stay in this position. You're folding forward over that right knee. I'm just going to shuffle back a touch. And you're leaning forward. You're looking for the stretch. It might be the inner thigh, it might be the outer thigh. If you don't feel anything, walk your hands over towards your left knee until you go, I've got it somewhere. If you're not feeling it at all, straighten out your left leg so that you'd be in the pigeon stretch. And I'm going to keep mine bent in this position here. Hopefully you've got a stretch. And you relax and pause. no, usually it's about 3 breaths minimum. Let's switch sides. So we're in this mermaid position, and this time it's your left hand down, left shoulder down, and 3, and then hold. Arc the arm, and then back down. Just gives you enough time to stay up there. Arc. This time, hold, stay, lifting, press everything that's touching the floor into the ground, reach the fingers up. Now you're stretching the front of the right hip. You might get another stretch somewhere else down into the ribs. Breathe deeply. Hopefully you've got a nice sky to look at. I have. And relax down. Now we're going to lean forward over the left thigh. You might need to bring the left foot so that there's more of a right angle. So lean forward. And you may have it immediately. Sink if you do, otherwise travel over towards the left foot if you get cramp, like I've just got. Give it a little rub and then come back in. Relax down wherever it is that you feel it. And then bring yourself up to a seated position. You can come up to standing, but I'm going to finish it right here. So if you want to finish in this seated position, just pause and give yourself a little appreciation. Eyes closed, a bit of silent gratitude, or gaze soft, all that you've been able to do. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.